I found a bunch of old mining ruins. So this piece of machinery is interesting because it has a socket on it. This is known as Taylor Canyon. We're heading up it real quick to see an old mine. I could already see the back gate. This mine's not accessible. Oh, no way. It might be accessible. This is all the waste rock for the mine, so it was a big, massive mine operation. And it's just way out in the Idaho wilderness. We're really high up right now. I see a couple old structures below, but all this waste rock is for that small mine that's partially collapsed right there. We're gonna go explore that because I noticed it's actually open. I thought it wasn't gonna be. Surprisingly, we could go in. So we're gonna go there. But before that, there's also this production building, which must have been an assay office. And not a lot remains of it, just the old wood and the cement foundation. Still really neat though. It's like a pack rat made its nest at this frame. But we made it inside of the mine, so we're gonna go explore and have a look around. Right off the bat, oh no, are we not gonna have a look around? That was short-lived. I got all ready and it's just collapsed in. We can't continue. I bet whoever broke into this mine originally felt kind of useless going through all that work just for it to be collapsed in. This was it for Taylor Canyon, just one mine operation, and now we're gonna head to one of the most dangerous roads in Idaho to get to our next mining objective. So this is the current route. It's supposed to take us 1 hour and 5 minutes to go 23 miles, and that's because of all these twisty turns you see. It's gonna be a bit of a drive. Trail Creek Road, located in central Idaho, is a rugged mountain pass known for its beauty and its danger. With steep drop-offs, narrow gravel paths, and no guardrails, the road has claimed lives in deadly rollovers down its cliffs. In one tragic accident, a woman was killed when her vehicle overcorrected and tumbled off the edge. In another, a car plunged down an embankment, leaving one dead and another injured. Stretching over 40 miles between Sun Valley and Mackay, the road climbs to nearly 7,900 feet and cuts through remote high-altitude wilderness. It's closed in the winters, and every year the Forest Service spends countless hours removing landslides, road closures, and hazards. This is it. This is the start of the road where they close it off in the wintertime, and every winter they deal with dozens of avalanches that just take weeks to clean up. It's extremely costly for the Forest Service and takes tons of equipment. But we're gonna go on this road now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous just reading the stats and the information on this road. But I've done crazier, I feel like, with off-roading and stuff, so you know, this is by definition just one of the most dangerous roads when it comes to paved, developed roads. I've gone on plenty of off-road trails, so we'll see. I'm zoomed all the way in, but if you see in the distance, that's a waterfall. I checked my topographic maps and then Google Maps. Nothing shows a name for that waterfall. That's one of those things where I wish I could go up to it, but there's no trails. You just can't do it. It's insane because that right there is the waterfall that probably nobody's been up to. Maybe one person who is crazy enough. After traversing the mountain pass, I was then headed to Phi Kappa Mines. A brief half-a-mile hike and we made it. We couldn't drive in because this is an ATV only trail, but this was the cabin and behind it's the outhouse. Let's have a look inside. I decided to stop off real quick because why not, you know, it's on the way. And it looks like it was maybe being made into a volunteer cabin. This would make a pretty sweet volunteer cabin if they fixed it up like that. Shelving up top. Maybe that's a bunk bed, I don't know. And then there's like this whole bench. And next to it, that's the bed. So you could put down like a piece of memory foam or padding and then just sleep right there in this cabin with a bunch of shelving too. Just a small cabin, had the stove right here to cook your food and everything you had to do, right? And then looking over, all the shelving, the bed, and that's it. This door, yeah, it looks like it's still on its hinges. It could still open and close. Have a look inside this spooky outhouse. Does open. All fallen down in disrepair. There's no mines around. This must have been like a forestry cabin or some sort of vacation cabin. That's the best I could think of. We'll head off to the mines now, and then after that, see an old cemetery. So stay tuned. The signature of today's episode hasn't even begun. I came from way down that canyon, up this twisty mining road, and I've made it. This is the Phi Kappa Mine operation. There's an old production building, and veering to the right, that's a bunch of mangled ore cart tracks. Right here, they would have had an ore chute or an ore bin, and in these ore cart tracks, they're veering off to go to the waste rock. So they're just dump it all on the side. And if you look, there's this small little stream, and this is water coming out of the mine, which means the mine is fully flooded. Oh, this is cool. So that's actually a dump truck. Check that out. That's so old. The Phi Kappa Mine, discovered in 1885 in central Idaho's Challis National Forest, was a major underground operation known for producing lead, zinc, copper, silver, and gold. Sitting near Phi Kappa Creek, this site included multiple mining claims and saw steady development through the early 20th century. The mine is geologically notable for its connection to the Phi Kappa Formation, a shale-rich rock layer dating back hundreds of millions of years. Only the seat and the steering wheel. Everything else has pretty much been just looted out. It's just all gone. This was the only building. It was maybe a bunkhouse, and it's all fallen down now. These are the ore cart tracks. If you follow them, they lead right into the collapsed mine. The water's coming out of the mine from below. It's not gated off or anything, but if you look in, I don't know if you could see that, but there's some timbers that are all tipped over. So even if you dug this out, you'd have to deal with supporting those timbers just to get into mine. It was a small mine. There's just one workshop right there. Of course, the dump truck, which, by the way, look how the bed is. It's just imploded onto itself. It's crazy to see. And then looking over, there's the bunkhouse where the miners would have lived. And then another building off that way, just the remnants. I assume this is where they stored all the dynamite. That's what it looks like. It's kind of kept away from the rest of the mine operation. This has been the Phi Kappa Mine. Now let's head down and keep exploring. After exploring the mine operation, I headed down the road going south. My plan was to explore the Challis Cemetery and Ghost Town. A lot more modern than I thought, because this old town, really nobody lives in it now. There's no post office, there's no services. It's just forgotten about. But if you do look, they are pretty old. Like this one, David Fulton, 4/11/1916 to 1974. And then 1874 to 1963. So unlike a lot of these pioneer cemeteries, this one, they're actually maintaining it. They're keeping it up, because all these are old graves. They're all 1800s, it seems like. 1864 to 1940. And then 1888 to 1945. Continuing 1854 to 1946. 1851 to 1920. I like these graves where they kind of just fence it off. Born August 19th, 1881, died February 11th, 1920. Most of these people probably knew each other, since this was such a close-knit, small community. It was never a big city or anything, and the population just continued to decline. This is where the town used to be, but now it's just a couple properties. Challis, Idaho was settled in the late 1800s by ranchers drawn to the open range and water from the Big Lost River. A post office was established in 1902, serving as the center of this small remote community. By 1909, the population had reached just over 100. During a particularly harsh winter, a hotel was hauled in from nearby Whiskey Springs over the frozen ground, marking one of the more ambitious efforts to support the growing settlement. But after a local storekeeper died in 1924 and a fire destroyed the general store in 1925, the town quickly declined. By the mid-20th century, Challis had mostly emptied out, leaving behind a few scattered buildings and memories of Idaho's early frontier. Now only ranchers and farmers remain. One thing to keep in mind, because I was kind of disappointed by the road today, because it's said to be one of the most dangerous roads you could take. And what that actually means, I did a little bit of research, is it's the most dangerous public road. So for instance, the road we're next to right now, while it's technically called Outer Creek Road, it's not a road where you're gonna have freaking garbage trucks going on it, and you're gonna have public transportation going through it, and all that jazz, right? So what that means is it's just a road where it's a public road that's commonly used. So, you know, highways, freeways, it's in that same category. And that's what makes it crazy, is the fact that it is in that same category. And that's why it's called one of the most dangerous roads, is because by statistics, there's a lot more fatalities on that road than a lot of other mountain roads. And honestly, I think a lot of it, and I really don't know the past cases like that, so I'm not saying based on what happened before, people who might not be experienced with non-paved roads, because Google Maps is going to show you that route if you're going through Idaho, and the reason why, through certain areas, right? Because it's an actual road. So Google Maps will say, oh yeah, your passenger car, your RV, your freaking big rig, it could go on that road just fine. And what happens is a lot of people say, okay, they've never done off-road before, they're not really experienced on these steep mountain roads, so they get on it and they get to the sections where they're not paved. And once they get to those non-paved sections, that's where stuff goes, you know, a little wrong. So they lose control of their vehicle, slide off the edge. Couple cases that happened, unfortunately, and sadly enough, the people passed away. And there's others where they had rollovers, and by some miracle they survived. I got the Suzuki all set up for sleeping. I am currently on a 3-day camping trip, and this is my last night, so I'm headed back home tomorrow. Luckily, I am an Idaho citizen, which means it's only a couple hour drive. It's about a 3-hour drive to get home from where I'm at right now. So not too long of a drive compared to when I film in Montana and Nevada.